Are you about to become or already are one of a small number of shareholders in a privately held company? If that's the case, preparing a shareholders agreement is something you should be considering. My name is Noah Sarna. In the next 3 minutes, I'm going to tell you the main reasons for having a shareholders agreement and identify just a couple of its most important parts. A shareholders agreement is a way for shareholders to change the rules that apply by default to their rights and obligations. Some of these rules need to be tightened or loosened or added to depending on the intended relationship between shareholders. Having a good shareholders agreement is important for a couple of reasons. First, to protect minority interests. For example, under the default rules, whoever has more than 50% of the shares can appoint all the directors and effectively run the company. This can be changed by a shareholders agreement. Second, to establish an open dialogue between shareholders about their goals and expectations. Shareholders in many private corporations are family members or partners in an enterprise. An agreement makes sure they're on the same page about many issues. Third, to focus the shareholders on the future. The beginning of a business is a very exciting time, but often it's developed between family members or partners, and it's important to set out in advance how those rifts will be dealt with to save frustration and expense. On a general level, shareholders agreements focus on, first, ownership and voting rights within a company, second, control and management of the company, and third, ways to resolve disputes between shareholders. More specifically, a shareholders agreement usually contains clauses dealing with, first, exit mechanisms, for when a shareholder wants to leave the business by selling their shares. This is frequently dealt with by including in the agreement rights of first refusal, allowing other shareholders the ability to buy those shares rather than letting someone new enter the mix. Second, funding, how the shareholders will invest in the company. Shareholders will generally agree in advance about roughly how much they'll pay to the company for their shares, how much they'll lend to the company, who will guarantee outside loans to the company, and under what conditions each of these will occur. Third, insurance, to prevent an outsider from joining the ranks of shareholders after someone dies. Companies will often maintain life insurance policies that result in a payout equal to the value of each person's shares. Fourth, default. This is probably the most important part of a shareholders agreement, because it spells out what events or conduct involving a shareholder is punishable and what exactly that punishment is. Poorly drafted default clauses are a common reason for people going to court, so it's crucial to make sure that yours is as clear as can be. Depending on your circumstances, there may be more factors to consider, but these are the basics. If you want to talk about any of these issues, I'd love to hear from you. My contact information is available on the screen. Give me a call. It'll take 2 minutes, and I can save you a lifetime of trouble.